Could this be more than just a natural disaster? Could these wildfires carry a deeper message for humanity, one we can no longer afford to ignore? These questions echo through the haze of destruction, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths. For decades, we've taken from the earth without pause, clearing forests, burning fuels, and ignoring the warnings of a warming planet. Now, as the flames rage out of control, consuming homes, habitats, and hope, we must ask, is this nature's way of pushing back, of screaming for balance in a language we can no longer pretend to misunderstand? This isn't just about wildfires, it's about a world on edge. It's about the intricate web of life that connects us all and how our actions are unraveling it. Every burnt tree, every fleeing animal, every displaced family, these are not isolated tragedies. They are symptoms of a deeper crisis, one we've created and one we alone can solve. Could these fires be the Earth's urgent call for humanity to wake up, to finally take responsibility for the future we're shaping before it burns away completely? If this message resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Type "Wake Up" if you believe it's time for change, or "We can do better" if you're ready to take action. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights on how we can all contribute to a better, more sustainable future. Together, we can make a change before it's too late. In moments of crisis, when the world seems to be crumbling around us, there is a deep and instinctual fear that rises within us. It's not just the fear of losing our homes or possessions, but the fear of losing control over the very essence of our existence. The images of families fleeing their homes, their faces filled with a mixture of disbelief and sorrow, capture this vulnerability in its rawest form. As the fires rage and the smoke swallows the sky, it's easy to forget that we too are part of this fragile ecosystem. The devastation unfolds like a storm we couldn't see coming, leaving us scrambling for safety. We are left to wonder, are we merely the victims of random events, or is there a deeper, more spiritual message hidden within the chaos? The fear we experience in such times is primal, a visceral reaction to the realization that we are not invincible. In the face of nature's wrath, we are reminded just how small and fragile we are. Like ants caught in the path of a heavy rainstorm, we can only scurry and seek shelter. The flames that consume everything in their path aren't just fire. They are a symbol of the uncontrollable forces of nature that can wipe out entire civilizations with the swipe of a hand. This is the humbling reality of life. It's a reminder that we are not the masters of this earth, but rather its guests. We live in a delicate balance, always one breath away from being swept away by the forces we cannot predict or control. As the smoke billows into the sky and the flames dance on the horizon, the fear is no longer just about survival. It's about understanding the cause of this destruction. What did we do to bring this upon ourselves? The anxiety of the unknown mingles with a deep, unsettling reflection. Are these wildfires, these natural disasters, truly just the result of bad luck? Or is there something greater at play? Could they be signs from the earth itself, urging us to pause, to reflect, to change our ways before it's too late? This uncertainty breeds reflection, and with it comes a powerful question. Are we simply passive observers in the face of disaster, or are we active participants in a story that we have the power to change? The fires and destruction are not merely random occurrences. They are echoes of our past mistakes and perhaps glimpses of the future we are creating. Just like the ripples caused by a pebble thrown into a pond, our actions have consequences that extend far beyond what we can see. The destruction left in the wake of a wildfire is not just the result of a single spark. It is a culmination of years of reckless disregard for the planet's health. As we watch homes, forests, and entire communities reduced to ash, the question becomes clearer. Could we have prevented this? As families watch their homes burn and entire neighborhoods dissolve into the haze, the sense of helplessness is overwhelming. What is left when everything you've worked for disappears in an instant? The grief of losing a home is not just the loss of bricks and mortar, but the loss of identity, memories, and a sense of security. This type of devastation is not only physical, but emotional, leaving people stranded in an ocean of uncertainty. Yet, in the midst of this despair, there is also a flicker of hope, a chance to rebuild, to learn, and to reflect. The fear we feel is not without purpose. It is a call to action, a reminder that we cannot continue on this path of destruction without consequences. As we witness the horrors of natural disasters, we are forced to face a deeper, more uncomfortable reality. We are not separate from nature, but intrinsically connected to it. Our choices impact the world around us in ways we may never fully understand. The way we live, consume, and interact with the planet is like a mirror reflecting back at us in the form of these catastrophes. It's a harsh reflection, one that stirs deep emotions and ignites a fire within us to change. But as we stand in the ashes of what was once vibrant and full of life, we are left wondering, what does this all mean? Could these natural disasters be a wake-up call from the universe? Are the fires and floods, the earthquakes and storms, signs from a higher power, urging us to reassess our way of life? Much like a parent who warns a child about the dangers of crossing the street without looking both ways, perhaps these events are nudges from the earth itself, showing us that we cannot continue to ignore the damage we've caused. It's as if the planet is speaking to us, its voice drowned out by the roar of the flames, telling us to stop and think. Are we ready to face the consequences of our actions? The fear we feel is a reflection of this deeper truth. The natural disasters that devastate communities are not just random occurrences. They are a reflection of the imbalance between humanity and the planet. Like a disease that begins in the smallest of cells but eventually spreads through the entire body, our actions have affected the earth in ways that we can no longer ignore. And now, like a fever rising to warn the body of infection, these disasters serve as a warning sign. If we do not change, if we do not wake up and take responsibility for the world we are shaping, the consequences will only grow worse. As we reflect on the fires, the floods, and the storms, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared to listen? Are we ready to accept the reality of our situation? And more importantly, are we willing to change? The fear we feel in the face of these disasters is not an accident. It is a crucial part of the awakening process. It is the universe's way of forcing us to confront the hard truth. We are all connected, and our actions, for better or for worse, impact the world around us. The question now is, what will we do with this knowledge? As we watch the flames devour what was once untouched land, a deep, unsettling truth begins to emerge. The contrast between the purity of nature before the fire and the desolation left in its wake sparks something far beyond a simple concern for environmental destruction. It prompts us to reflect on fire itself, not just as a physical force of nature, but as a symbol of spiritual awakening, a purifier, and a tool of divine intervention. In ancient cultures, fire was often revered, not feared. It was seen as a sacred element, capable of both destruction and renewal. In many spiritual traditions, Fire symbolizes purification, burning away the old to make way for the new. Just as a forest fire clears the underbrush, making room for new growth to emerge, fire in these traditions represents transformation, change, and the possibility of a fresh start. But this spiritual lens forces us to ask, are these fires a signal that we have strayed too far from nature's balance and from the divine truths that have guided us for centuries? The symbolism of fire runs deep in human history. In ancient rituals, fire was not merely a tool for survival, but a sacred force, capable of connecting us to the divine. The Greeks called it Promethean fire, a gift from the gods that represented both knowledge and power. In the Christian tradition, fire is often associated with the Holy Spirit, a purifying flame that tests and refines one's soul. In Hinduism, fire is seen as a symbol of destruction and regeneration, a force that allows the soul to transcend the material world. Across all these cultures, fire was not something to be feared, it was something to be respected. It was an essential part of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a powerful reminder that destruction often leads to renewal, that endings make way for new beginnings. Yet as we watch the uncontrollable fires of today, it's difficult not to feel that something is fundamentally different. These fires are not following the ancient wisdom of the earth. They are not the cleansing flames of spiritual renewal. They are the result of human negligence, greed, and disregard for the fragile balance that has sustained life for millennia. The fires that now rage across our landscapes are not part of nature's cycle. They are a reflection of how far we've strayed from that natural harmony. They are not the sacred flames of renewal, but a destructive force, a force that seems to be punishing us for the imbalance we've created. The fire that once symbolized divine intervention and purification now seems to embody the consequences of our failure to live in harmony with the earth. This stark contrast between the natural fire of ancient belief and the destructive fire of today forces us to reflect on the relationship between humanity and nature. Ancient cultures understood the balance between humans and the environment. They recognized that the earth was not a resource to be exploited, but a living entity to be respected. The seasons, the rivers, the forests, they were all part of a delicate equilibrium that needed to be maintained. And fire, while destructive, was also seen as part of that cycle, necessary for renewal. But today, fire is no longer a natural part of the balance. It has become a consequence of human actions. The fire we see today isn't just nature cleansing itself. It's the result of climate change, deforestation, and the unchecked consumption of resources. It's as though we've broken an ancient agreement with the earth, and now the fire is both a warning and a consequence of our transgressions. As we witness the environmental destruction around us, we must ask ourselves, could these fires be a wake-up call? A spiritual message telling us how far we've strayed from the natural harmony and the sacred truths that have guided us for centuries. The fire that once symbolized transformation and renewal now seems to symbolize our failure to recognize the interconnectedness of all life. The earth, in its wisdom, may be sending us a message. If we continue to disregard the balance of nature, we risk losing everything. Could the fires we see today be the earth's way of reminding us that we are not separate from nature, but an integral part of it? Like a child who strays too far from home, perhaps humanity is now being called to return to the values of balance, respect, and responsibility. The spiritual message behind the flames is clear, but it's not always easy to hear. It asks us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for the planet and all living things. It reminds us that we are stewards of the earth, entrusted with the responsibility to protect and care for it. And just as fire once symbolized purification, it may now serve as a divine intervention, a force that has come to shake us from our complacency and to push us toward a more conscious, harmonious existence. The fire, in its destructive power, may be urging us to rebuild, but this time with wisdom and reverence for the earth that sustains us. So, as we look upon the scorched landscapes and the ash-filled skies, we must ask, can we still hear the spiritual message that fire is sending us? Are we willing to listen to the earth, to honor its wisdom, and to restore the balance we've lost? The flames may be a wake-up call, but it's up to us to answer. The question remains, are we ready to embrace the change that is being offered, to rebuild in a way that honors both nature and the spiritual truths that have always guided humanity? Only by answering this call can we hope to heal the wounds we have inflicted upon the earth and ourselves. In the wake of destruction, when all seems lost, the seeds of hope often begin to sprout in the most unexpected places. As communities come together to rebuild, as neighbors extend a helping hand to those affected, something powerful happens. It's as if the charred earth itself is quietly whispering that even in the midst of devastation, there is always room for renewal. The fires that once tore through forests and homes now stand as a symbol, not just of destruction, but of transformation. In nature, we see this cycle every year, the trees shedding their leaves, the land resting after a harsh winter, only to emerge stronger and more vibrant in spring. It is in these trials, these moments of crisis, that we often find the potential for growth. Just as a phoenix rises from its ashes, so too can humanity rise from the ashes of its own mistakes and challenges. Spiritual traditions from around the world have long recognized that hardship is not the end, but rather a turning point, an opportunity to reflect, renew, and grow stronger. In many spiritual teachings, trials and suffering are not viewed as punishments, but as opportunities for transformation. Just as a diamond is formed under extreme pressure, so too can the human spirit be shaped and refined through adversity. In Christianity, for example, it is taught that suffering can bring us closer to God, that through trials we can find a deeper connection to the divine. Similarly, in Buddhism, the concept of dukkha, or suffering, is seen as a necessary part of life's journey, a catalyst for enlightenment. Across cultures and faiths, there is a shared belief that hardship is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It is in the face of disaster that we are often forced to reassess our priorities, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to embrace a new way of living. The fires, the floods, the storms, they may burn away the old, but they also clear the path for something new to grow. The question is, are we ready to rebuild not just our homes, but our hearts and our minds? As we witness the recovery efforts unfold before us, we are reminded of the resilience of the human spirit. The people who lost everything are now helping each other rebuild. The communities that were torn apart by disaster are coming together, stronger than ever. In these acts of kindness and solidarity, we see the essence of what it means to be human. In the face of crisis, we are reminded of the power of connection, the bond we share with one another and with the world around us. It is this connection that is often lost in the hustle and bustle of daily life, in the pursuit of material wealth and success. Yet in times of crisis, we are forced to look beyond our possessions and our status. We realize that what truly matters is not what we own, but the relationships we nurture, the love we give, and the kindness we show. This is a moment for reflection. Have we been prioritizing materialism over spirituality? Have we been so focused on accumulating wealth, power, and possessions that we've lost sight of the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life? When we see nature slowly begin to heal, when we watch the grass grow again in the areas once consumed by fire, it's a reminder that life, in all its forms, is constantly evolving. Even the land, scorched and barren, can find a way to recover. Just as nature takes its time to heal, so too can we. The process of regrowth takes patience, nurturing, and care, but the results are worth it. And perhaps, in the same way, our world can heal. We can rebuild our communities, restore our environment, and rediscover our spiritual connection to the earth. But this will require more than just physical reconstruction. It will require a transformation in the way we live and the way we relate to the planet. We must ask ourselves, are we listening to what nature, and perhaps God, is trying to tell us? Are we open to the lessons that these trials are offering, or are we simply focused on returning to the way things were before? In the aftermath of destruction, it is easy to feel despair, to wonder if we will ever return to a sense of normalcy. Yet, in this time of crisis, there is also an opportunity to redefine what normal means. Perhaps it's time to let go of the old ways of thinking, the old systems that have led us down a path of imbalance and disregard for the planet. Perhaps it's time to embrace a new way of living, one that values spiritual growth, community, and harmony with nature over the accumulation of material wealth. This moment, this trial, is an opportunity for renewal. It is a chance to reflect on our lives, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to build a future that is more in tune with the earth and its rhythms. As the recovery efforts continue, a new life begins to emerge from the ashes. We are reminded that every trial, no matter how painful, carries the potential for growth. The path to renewal is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And as we move forward, we must ask ourselves, are we ready to embrace this transformation? Are we willing to let go of our old ways and step into a new way of being, one that honors the earth, one another, and the deeper truths that connect us all? The flames may have taken much, but they have also given us the opportunity to rebuild, to grow, and to create a world that is more balanced, more compassionate, and more spiritually aware. Now it's up to us to take that opportunity and turn it into something beautiful. Fear, by its very nature, is often seen as something to avoid, a shadow that looms over us, threatening to paralyze and overwhelm. But fear, when faced with courage and awareness, can become a powerful force for transformation, much like the storm that clears the air, leaving the sky brighter and fresher, just as the flame of a candle flickers in the dark, casting light in places once hidden. Fear can illuminate areas of our lives that need attention, urging us to confront what we have been avoiding. It's easy to think of fear as an enemy, a force that holds us back. But in truth, it can be a catalyst for change, a reminder that we are not living up to our potential and that something within us needs to shift. Just as the fire outside can scorch the earth, forcing it to regenerate and renew, so too can the fires of fear within us challenge us to grow, to shed old patterns, and to rise to new heights. When we approach fear, not as something to escape, but as something to learn from, we allow it to guide us toward personal and collective growth. Externally, the flames that rage across the land remind us of the fierce, uncontrollable forces in the world around us, but they also serve as metaphors for the inner battles we face. Each of us has our own fires to fight, the fears, doubts, and insecurities that arise when we are faced with life's challenges. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of change, or the fear of the unknown, these internal fires can feel just as consuming as any wildfire. Yet, when we approach them with the right mindset, we begin to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities to evolve. The fires, both within and without, push us to examine our lives, to see what is truly important, and to strip away the things that no longer serve us. Like a forest fire that clears away dead wood, making room for new growth, the flames within our hearts can burn away the old fears, the old doubts, and make space for a new sense of purpose, clarity, and strength. It's in the moments of crisis, when we are confronted with our deepest fears, that we are often forced to re-evaluate who we are and what we stand for. These moments are not the end, but the beginning of something new, a chance for us to redefine ourselves and our path forward. As families come together in the face of disaster, reconnecting over shared struggles and collective loss, we see the power of fear transformed into connection. Fear, when shared, no longer isolates us. It brings us closer, forging bonds that might have otherwise remained hidden. The fires outside, while destructive, become a symbol of the deeper unity we all share as human beings. The same fear that threatens to tear us apart can also be the force that brings us together, as we learn to face adversity side by side, supporting one another through the darkest times. In these moments of connection, when we are stripped of the superficial distractions of daily life, we are reminded of what truly matters: our relationships, our values, and our shared humanity. The act of facing fear together fosters empathy, compassion, and understanding, qualities that are essential for both personal and collective growth. When we meditate on the flames, whether they are the literal fires in the world around us or the metaphorical fires in our hearts, we begin to understand that fear is not a force to be controlled, but one to be understood. Just as the calm, steady glow of a candle can bring peace and focus in the midst of chaos, so too can we find moments of stillness and clarity within ourselves, even when surrounded by fear. Fear is like the ocean, vast and deep, but if we learn to navigate its waves with grace and wisdom, we can find our way through to the other side. The key is to approach fear not with resistance, but with acceptance. It's a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "How can I avoid this fear?" we ask, "What can I learn from it?" This shift is the beginning of transformation, both on a personal level and in the way we interact with the world around us. As the flames of external fires rage, they reveal the vulnerabilities we have been trying to ignore, both individually and as a society. They force us to face the truth that we are not invincible, that we are fragile, and that the world we live in is in a state of imbalance. These fires, however destructive, are not simply disasters. They are calls to action, urging us to look within and without for ways to rebuild, to renew, and to reconnect. Just as the ash left behind by a fire is a fertile ground for new growth, so too is the fear we experience a fertile ground for change. The lessons learned in times of crisis, whether they come from the external fires or the internal ones, are the seeds that allow us to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Fear, when approached with courage, becomes a doorway to new possibilities. The fires that threaten to consume us can also ignite the spark of transformation, lighting a path toward personal growth, deeper connection, and a more harmonious way of living. By embracing fear instead of resisting it, by seeing it as a guide rather than an enemy, we can begin to shift our perspectives, grow from our challenges, and emerge from the flames stronger than before. The key to this transformation is not to be fearless, but to acknowledge the fear and move forward anyway, with purpose, with courage, and with the knowledge that every challenge we face is an opportunity to become more of who we are meant to be. Just as a garden flourishes after a storm, so too can we, if we approach fear not as something to avoid, but as something to grow from. In facing the fires, both external and internal, we find our purpose, our strength, and our potential for transformation. As we look upon the land scorched by fire, it is impossible to ignore the signs of recovery slowly emerging from the charred earth. The once barren soil now sprouts green shoots, a symbol of resilience and hope. Nature, in its quiet wisdom, teaches us that even in the aftermath of destruction, there is always the potential for new beginnings. Just as the forest regenerates, so too can we, transforming, growing, and healing from the trials we face. This is not just a time for reflection, it is a time for action. The devastation we witness in the world around us is a powerful reminder of our shared vulnerability, but it is also a call to reconnect with something deeper than ourselves, a call to reconnect with spirituality, with the earth, and with each other. The fires that have burned away so much of what we held dear also hold within them the potential to ignite a spark of change. This moment is not just an end, but a new beginning, a chance to re-evaluate our priorities, renew our purpose, and rebuild our world with greater care and consciousness. The recovery we see in the natural world offers a lesson for us all. Just as the land must heal after the fire, so too must our hearts and minds heal from the disconnect we have created between ourselves and the earth. It is time to shift our focus from material pursuits to something more meaningful: spirituality, community, and the preservation of the environment. Nature, with its delicate balance, has always provided us with everything we need. Yet we have often taken it for granted. The fires that rage across the land, though destructive, remind us of the fragility of the world we inhabit and the urgent need to protect it. Now more than ever, we must foster a deeper connection to the environment, recognizing that its health is directly tied to our own. By caring for the earth, we are also caring for ourselves and for future generations. Let this moment be a turning point, when we make a conscious decision to live in harmony with the world around us, to cherish and protect the resources that sustain us. At the same time, this moment of crisis offers us an opportunity to reflect on the relationships we hold dear. The fire, in its raw power, has burned away the superficial layers of our lives, forcing us to confront what truly matters. As we witness communities coming together in the wake of disaster, as families reunite and offer each other comfort, we are reminded of the strength and beauty found in human connection. This is a time to deepen our relationships, to strengthen the bonds we share with those around us, and to extend our compassion to those in need. In times of struggle, it is our relationships that provide us with the support and love necessary for healing. Just as a forest grows stronger with the diversity of its trees, so too can we grow stronger by fostering deeper connections with one another. Let this moment of adversity be a reminder that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in the love, kindness, and understanding we share. Now is the time to act, to step forward with purpose and resolve. Each of us has a role to play in the healing and rebuilding of our world. Whether it's by caring for the environment, supporting those affected by disaster, or deepening our spiritual practices, we all have the power to make a difference. The fire has shown us the fragility of life, but it has also shown us the incredible power of renewal. Just as the charred forest will give rise to new growth, so too can we rise from the ashes of our challenges, stronger and more connected than before. This is a moment of opportunity, a moment to plant the seeds of change and watch them grow. The world may be facing many challenges, but within each of us lies the potential to bring about the transformation we so desperately need. So, as you reflect on the destruction and the recovery, let it inspire you to take action. Let it spark within you a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to caring for the earth, to strengthening your relationships, and to reconnecting with your spirituality. This is not just a time for reflection, but a time for action. If this message resonates with you, share it with your friends, family, and community. Let's spread the word that we are all in this together, and that together we can create a future that is more sustainable, more compassionate, and more connected. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue spreading this message of hope and renewal. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you're ready to take action. Type, "I am ready to grow," if you're committed to making a positive impact on the earth and in your relationships. Together, we can rise from the ashes and build a brighter, more connected future. As the land recovers and the green shoots push through the charred earth, let us also grow, stronger, more mindful, and more united in our efforts to heal the planet and ourselves. In the end, the fires have given us a choice: to remain in despair or to rise and rebuild with purpose. Let us choose to rise. Let us choose to grow together, stronger and more connected than ever before. The future is in our hands, and it is not too late to change the course of our journey. The seeds of renewal have been planted, and now it is up to us to nurture them. Together, we can create a world where healing is possible, where transformation is embraced, and where we live in harmony with the earth and with each other. Let's grow together, stronger and more connected. The time for action is now.